After the disaster in the English Channel, the OYZ team was now stranded on the island of Alderney as we tackled the problem of a seized engine.
Join us as we explore the dramatic landscape of this unique island, get to know its inhabitants, and achieve new milestones that kept us outside our zone.
So I'm finally about to set off to meet the boys in Alderney. We're currently on mainland France and we're about to get a tiny little ferry all the way to Alderney. Super excited, the ferry looks awesome.
It was finally time to join the team for our world mission by boarding the Sorcerer 2 for a journey across from Normandy.
Right, I've had my passport stamped and I'm ready to go.
I hadn't seen the team since they had set off from Whitehaven, and I was yet to lay eyes on the Sula 2 for the first time. As we slipped the lines and sped away from the fortified harbour of Cherbourg, I couldn't believe that my journey around the world was about to begin.
So, we're absolutely flying along. It's currently 10 to 6 and we'll be there about 20 past. I'm so excited to see all the boys and I'm so excited by this journey. It's been absolutely magical. Nothing that I could have imagined. Going to Alderney on a tiny little boat like this, going 20 knots with the twin engines, the wake behind us, the sun in the sky.
I knew that the boys had encountered some significant problems that we would have to overcome, and that for the foreseeable future, the Sula would be stranded on this isolated outcrop. Alderney has a surface area of only 3 square miles, and it is the northernmost of the inhabited Channel Isles. It was surreal to see our fleet moored up behind the 2,500 foot breakwater, which has protected many a sailor since its construction in the mid-1800s.
Yeah! Nice to see you, bro. We've got some after sun fears and stuff like that. Thanks. I'm glad to be here with the boys. Finally back with the boys. Finally retired. Ready for the mission. Finally retired. Oh, it's been a long time coming.
Henry has finally made his famous stew for all the boys with a couple of tips from his dad here. It smells unreal. Fair play.
Stew! Stew!
Birthday.
Happy birthday, Stew! Full of protein. Retain and gain. And abstain as well.
Alderney is well known for its beautiful sunsets and many forts that punctuate its rocky coastline. 70 miles from the British mainland and subject to treacherous Atlantic tides, this fascinating rock, only 2.5 times the size of Central Park, has cultivated its own unique, isolated society since it was severed from Europe in the Neolithic.
Schmiddy barbers.
Yes, hen dog.
Yes.
Wait for a little Waydoo.
Waydoo.
Rate what you think of my hair out of 10.
Yes. Schmiddy barbers. First ever full Waydoo. Avasji me hearties.
Deploy. It was finally time to put the long-anticipated Waydoo Subnado to the test in open water. Though we hadn't quite cracked it yet, we were stoked about the potential of this exciting piece of kit.
On Saturday, Tom and Rob are taking over the Alderney radio and they're going to be spinning some tunes for an hour or so. And we're just discussing what types of tunes we are to expect. We're back at Soy Beach and we're going to find ourselves some shellfish, hopefully some spider crabs for dinner.
As many of you may know from previous videos, I have never been a particularly confident swimmer. For the circumnavigation, I aimed to rectify this as soon as I could by forcing myself into the water as much as possible. Before the mission, I had often dreamt of the moment I would dive down and retrieve something edible for the team.
Yeah! Yes! Let's go! I think that is edible size, we'll have to check. But that is my first ever hand-dived edible-sized spider crab. Let's go! Although foraging for your scran is awesome, you have to do it responsibly. And for that reason, we've got the measuring tape out.
Yes, get in. I've actually just found out that for female spider crabs, it only has to be 12 centimetres. So we're well within the range there. Big up Schmiddy.
After further research, we are dorks who don't know what we're talking about. And actually, you measure spider crabs from the front to the back, which is apparently called the Cara space, and that has to be above 120 millimeters. Your Cara space is about 15. Well within the Cara space rules. So,
Fine, chase you.
straight in. Go, go, go!
Let's go, we're on the Alecki bikes once again. Vroom vroom.
Our plan was to circumnavigate the island, exploring the many natural and historical sites. This would also give Alex the opportunity to bomb some hills that we had scouted on his longboard. In 1940, most of the 1,400 inhabitants of Alderney were evacuated to Britain shortly before the Channel Islands fell to the Nazis. The occupying force used slave labour to build an extensive set of defences around the island. Many of these bunkers, tunnels and gun emplacements still remain and are accessible to visitors, the most imposing of which is called the Odeon. We followed the coast round towards Longest Common, the site of many interesting archaeological findings. Fort Raz is one of 2 Victorian causeway forts on the island and sits on Alderney's only natural harbour. This bay is also famous for the well-preserved remains of a Roman fort built in the 4th century AD. The nunnery, as it's known to the locals, lies at the bottom of a steep hill down from the island's primary settlement of St Anne's, which Alex was determined to conquer on his longboard. We will need to get a different engine. Our options right now are very limited and very costly. It was a costly mistake, but we're gonna overcome it. It's gonna require lots of brain power. The lessons learned checks all the time. A good sailor. The lesson actually is don't tamper with stuff, because the engine didn't even last a day. They'd motored it for 4 hours, but because of the large particulate oil filter that was on the bottom of the sump, because that was taken off erroneously and reinstalled incorrectly, that was at the lowest point in the engine and all the oil simped out. So the lesson is, we should have tampered with it less and ran with it and fixed the things that broke. After a tense lunch, we decided to split up to explore further. The gannetry is a collection of steep sea rocks, home to a colony of around 12,000 gannets during mating season. This was also a good opportunity to visit Fort Clonk, an impressive marine fortification built on a tidal island in the 19th century. It was constructed as part of a chain of 13 fortifications around Alderney, designed to protect English interests in the channel from the increasing threat of French naval power. Much of the original layout has been well preserved, and it offers a unique view into the life of a naval garrison primed for the defence of the island.
Wish we could raise the OYZ flag.
Crikey. Right, come on. It was clear that we would soon be facing some serious budget issues. To offset this, we were even more determined to source our protein from the sea. We're ready to go and get ourselves some more spider crabs.
Spider crab. We're back in Soybean Beach, and we're going to be doing some wadooing, some snorkeling, and we're also going to be using these.
Yo, 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 go. Yeah, let's go.
That's a massive male, that's Sam. In the bag.
We've just found ourselves a male spider crab that's for sure edible size. Scrannable. Food there. Get one more of them and then we'll go and have some lunch, eh? Well done, Clara, for getting a spider crab.
Yes.
Well
Thank
done.
What? an adventure that was. Sam and Clara have just secured the bag for all of us for some protein. It was unreal to watch them diving down, especially that first one Sam got where he was ripping the kelp apart. It's unbelievable, and I'm so proud of Clara for getting over her fears and getting outside of her zone. We've just been talking with the Italian chef on Friday. If you bring him some crabs, he'll cook them for us and eat with us. And we also need to bring some wine.
Hand dived by Sam and Clara. They are going to feed the whole team. Ooh-wee.
More. More. We've got a crab salad for the first sea lord.
Wow, I'm starving hungry. Is this all I get?
So this time next week we should have a new engine coming for the Sula gang off the Trinity. I won't know because I'll be on Jersey getting my ICC, but the boys will find out whether the engine arrives next Tuesday or not.
While waiting for our delicious crab sandwiches, I've just been working on a bit of the solar. So I've got our 2 diodes up here, zip tied up together, 2 cables, 1 from each panel that will come in there and in there, connected to your diodes. They'll connect together and then come out the bottom, and you'll have 2 chunky cables, probably similar to this. They'll come out the bottom, they'll go into the MPPT, so then we can have like 30 to 40 amp of charge going into our batteries on a beautiful day like today.
Show us your work knife as well. That's what he's been working with. Clara's hand caught crab. Yes. So Henry didn't take our advice to wear sun cream and he got squashed in. It looks like a drumstick squashy. But are you enjoying the scran?
Nice scran, to be fair.
Good scran.
Very nice.
Let's go. The following morning we started off with another cold dip before heading to Key FM to tell them about our story. Key FM. We recounted the tale of how we had commandeered our flagship on the Isle of Bute before heading south to ready it for an intercontinental voyage. The team has grown ever so much since we first started. Alderney is our favourite Channel Island, and there it is right there, look at that. Key FM. At the D-Day vigil that evening, having heard about our expedition, the president of the island introduced himself to the team.
Oh yay! Intrepid adventurers! And it's a win.
It was a beautiful evening for the poignant celebration, and we had by this point fallen in love with Alderney and its close-knit community which we had begun to feel a part of.
Let's get some hot crabs!
Let's go!
It's a female again, I think.
We've got a huge male spider crab. The size of those claws. 17 centimetres. Yes, the boys.
Let's go.
So, we're just starting up on the seaweed salad from the forage seaweed. Obviously, there's a bit of rocket in there. That's all nature's noodles. Can't remember the Latin, but that's the nickname.
Update, that's how much meat I got so far.
So look. Yes.
Wow! This looks good.
What have you done? Just clean the seaweed and that's it?
Now I blanched it in with the crab and then firing it in with some vegetables, some rocket, some pepper and some chilli and maybe some lemon. What do you think, Rob? Yeah, a bit of white wine vinegar as well. Lovely. Lots of different species as well.
Listen, this is a very exciting story. If you don't know about this, it's something about outside your zone.
In the morning, we made our way up the hill to Waydoo Radio, which is available online, to talk to them about the island and our adventure. If you want to watch the full interview, you can find it on OYZ Extra. The Mercedes is absolutely conked. I'm having to replace it with the Beta Marine.
It's a shame the Merc is conked. My concern is a lot of the things we need going to be on the other side. Our exhaust is here, and a lot of the Beta Marines I know and have worked on, the exhaust is here.
Go on. Oh, my fisherman's friends are going in the bilge.
It's a shame that. Get up Schmitty for giving us a hand.
It's right. The fisherman's friends have survived.
I've just fished out the fisherman's friends.
Are they still edible?
They're sweet.
What? Bilge proof.
The fisherman's friends are oily bilge proof.
It is thought that Waydoo was the Latin name for the island, although it may derive from the Norse for island with strong currents. Schmidty Barbers updated. The boys have just done a great job at Waydoo Radio with their DJ set, playing some tunes.
Shout out to Waydoo for letting us do that. Thank you. It was good crack. We was listening to it out here, getting a fresh trim. And the Schmidty Barbers.
Schmidty Barbers!
The Barbers always right.
Earlier, the grey kayak had slipped loose and we thought it had been swept out into the Atlantic forever. But Alderney's wonderful and close-knit community network got the word out and someone managed to get in contact and tell us it had been found.
When you're fishing off the breakwater? No way. That's heroic, mate. We would really appreciate that. 5 or 10 minutes outside Bray Beach Hotel. That's unbelievable, mate. Thank you so much.
Well done.
Nice one. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Let's go!
Right, bow to Ryber. Shout out Ryber.
Shout out Ryber.
I was fishing the end of the wall this morning and it went by and I had about 5 or 6 casts and caught it, and I've asked everybody.
Thank you, Alderney. If it wasn't for you and your community, I would never have found that kayak ever again.
Adios. Goodbye. It was fantastic to have them here. I'm so glad they joined us for the week. It was amazing fun. As always, salute to Bill.
Legendary. That is a wood of destroyer. Yeah,
Whoa.
Keel crusher. He's getting a
That's a Keel Crusher 6000, that.
Tight squeeze.
Yay.
Let's do a comparison of what this used to look like. Show the shop now. Our draft is 1.5 meters, which means we need to measure 1.5 meters and put a little marker so that we can see how long after low tide the water will be high enough that we'll start floating, and inversely how long after high tide the water will be too shallow for us to be floating and we will settle back down onto the floor. Big jobs on. Hold on boys, another good effort from the team.
We had thoroughly underestimated the amount of time we would be spending on this little island.
With the Sula stuck until the new engine was installed and running, it was already time for Rob and Tom to sail to Jersey for their ICC examination. In order to sail through the French inland waterways and the Mediterranean, the two captains would have to achieve this qualification. Otherwise, we would be challenging the orcas in the Bay of Biscay. With tough conditions on the horizon and a storm set to arrive in the coming days, we set off south in order not to miss our opportunity to get qualified.
Alderney Race is known for its tidal currents, and the boys were about to encounter a huge challenge.
Whoa!
Jesus.
The mistakes we had made during the restoration were already coming back to bite as the rudder began to shift out of alignment inside the keyless collars. Now stranded on the island, the rest of the team got to work upgrading the Sula and preparing for the engine to be lifted out. The Trinity, let's go! Right, we're going to go and do some skinny to wedge on the beach, and hopefully by the time we're done and showered, the engine will be ready and out of the container. What?
Sula's never moved so fast.
Though we had only been in possession of this mighty engine for a short time, it was now destroyed and will be stripped down for parts.
This sad moment, seeing such a marvel of machinery taken away to be scrapped, made us even more determined to do right by the beta and keep it in the game for as long as possible.
Well done, mate.
Get in. So, got the old brain bucket on, and our old Mercedes engine has just been lifted out. It's a tight squeeze, but we managed to get it out there. 2 rails have come out along with it. Hopefully, our new engine should just drop on them. But the engine bay does look really, really strange now. having nothing in it and there's nothing to stand on.
Well done, mate.
This is our new, to us, Beta Marine 43. So it's got 43 horsepower and it looks like it has a PRM 150 gearbox on it. We'll have to make a different coupling to be able to couple it to the current prop shaft that we have on there, but it's all looking very promising at the moment.
Let's go, hen dog. Dogly, dogly, dogly.
We're just about to take our ICC. Nigel has told us that he's going to be coming down to see the boat, and we're going to make sure everything's all right before we get ourselves out to sea and get the ICC. Wee, let's go!
Me and Ramsey are doing our ICC right now. We've just got onto the Marne ball. We've done the parking test. Let's go. Fingers crossed we're going to win. OYZ. Main man giving Ramsey some pointers. It's learning and also a test, so thank you, mate.
We managed to do all the practical stuff, but when it came to the theory, we smashed it and we won! ICC, wee. French canals, here we come. Orcas on the Bay Biscay, you can do one!
Are we on the train?
We're on the train for the win.
Are we on the train here?
Freedom for your feet. Let's go over there.
Let's go, guys. Let's go.
Live in the flesh in Jersey.
Let's show quacks around the world.
Around the world, quacks. People always ask us what are you wearing, and we say we're wearing quacks.
Lovely clean bilge. Still a bit more to do. I've got to do a bit more degreasing, and then hopefully we'll have time to get it all painted and we're looking beautiful, spick and span, ready for our new engine to get fired in there. Awful weather today though. It is like gusting to like 35 knots. There's sideways rain. It has been just an awful day.
It's horrid, isn't it?
This is our new engine panel for the Beta Marine. We have got our oil pressure, engine temperature and voltage.
Oil pressure.
Oil pressure. Jake wanted the centres of our engine mounts measuring. Our aft ones are 444 millimetres. Our forward ones are 400 and what did I say? 439. We'll get that relayed over to Jake. So hopefully, fingers crossed, as soon as we get our engine, it'll just go bloop,
Flop straight in.
It's the only opportunity we'll get to do this for hopefully a long time. So it needs to be a good job before the engine goes back in, gets reconnected up.
Not very much left to do. I'm in a bit of a tight squeeze here.
Jesus.
Windy day like.
That must have come up about 100 foot into the air.
Jeez. With the rudder still playing up and the storm raging, the Spur were forced to take refuge on Guernsey before making their crossing back to Alderney. The improvement in conditions by the morning meant that they could set off and make their way back to join the team. We also took the opportunity to circumnavigate the island in our new Boat World Cat Sport 330, which you will be able to see a full review of in a coming video.
We got a notification at 1 o'clock on the Verk route to say that the boys had set off from Guernsey. We've been keeping an eye all day and they've just turned up on the other side of the island. Shout out to the Verk crew, we absolutely love the app. It's really helpful. We know where they are.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! I can tell you've got an ICC, you son.
Let's go! Got a new pair of quacks from the main man in Jersey.
The two boats were finally together once again, and the day after we would also be joined by a new friend of ours called Rob from East Coast Sailing.
on, hang on. Yes, good stuff! Spider crab!
Spider crab! Spider crab!
Oh yes!
Let's go!
Let's go, OYZ!
OYZ!
Woo!
Look at that, man! Yes! 13-inch green wrasse the East Coast Sailing got, and a 14-inch Ballon wrasse, which is absolutely beautiful.
The head chef treated us to an unforgettable cook-up on the beach with East Coast Rob before giving Ramsey his birthday haircut inspired by our dinner.
You just got to watch that on these engines because they don't really kill it.
How's it going?
It makes a horrible mess.
Yeah.
How did you find out about this one then?
Word of mouth.
Someone said about it, and they were like, "Don't go in there. It's known for collapsing and that. And if you get stuck, you're done for." And we're like, "We're in."
OYZ, we're in. So we've done a crew change, and we're swapping Henry and I onto the Blue Spur, and Tom's gone back onto the Sula. So we're just clearing everything out, changing over the bags. When I was moving my stuff into the fore cabin, I realised that there was dampness under the mattresses, and so we've taken everything out, swept everything, we're going to wipe everything. If you look up there, you can see that we've got dampness, which means that around this pipe where the anchor chain comes down, there's drips. We're going to take off this panel and have a look if we can solve the problem and give it all a good wipe down so that it's habitable for humans. Join the Patreon, like the video, subscribe, help out the boys, please. Rob has returned with the holy juice, the mold destroyer. Let's go. We've discovered the problem. That's where the water's coming in. Rather than messing around with that weird cut at the top, we may as well replace the entire pipe with some 70mm piping. So we'll need 800mm of that. We'll have to untie the anchor chain at the bottom, pull it through, take out this pipe altogether, and replace it with a new pipe. So we've just been in Alderney Building Supplies, and they only sold the pipe in 4-metre lengths, the pipe that we wanted. We told them that we only needed 800mm, and he actually went in the back and found a lightly used length that's closer to what we need, which is awesome. So thank you so much, Alderney Building Supplies. Yes.
Goodbye, Mr. Krabs.
Goodbye, Mr. Krabs.
So that is the Jubilee and the rubber around the bottom. Now it's securing this pipe nice and well. We're very happy with that.
Yes. So we've also put a bit of Sika splooge underneath around the pipe, and that's the Sika at the top. That's not going to let any water in, and I think we'll be winning.
Get in. So today is the day a new engine goes in a Sula. It's around about 9:30. We're waiting for Jake to come and tow the Sula, and hopefully we get this engine in and we can get out on the next high tide.
All hands were on deck for an early morning tug into the harbour, where we would string up the Sula to dry out.
It was the first time we had tried anything like this, and though we had prepared ourselves as much as we could, we hoped it would all go smoothly without the vessel falling over.
Let's go, team. Thank you to the team at Main Brace for helping us out. We love you. See you at the Admirals. About 6 inches off the rope still. The time is 10:47.
Salute to all the first class admirals.
So the water is on the string.
We're in the game. So,
We're in the game.
It's in there.
Hello, Ralphie. So it's sitting pretty nicely on the space that we made for it with the sand. The anti-foul's looking pretty good. The Main Brace workshop and chandlery is located within the old harbour, and they are the first port of call for anything boat related on the island.
This nervous moment, watching our new dangle around was the first step in a new chapter for the Sula.
We come in here at 5:45 in the morning. It was a lovely early start. We've now got all the engine aligned and just tightening up the final few bolts now, and then we'll just be on to bolting the prop shaft and the engine together, and then we're just down to ancillaries, pipes, cables, fuel lines, power cables, all of those lovely things. We've got our new exhaust just there that's been tacked together by Jake this morning.
He's put another bend in it, has he?
He has, yes, he's put another bend in it.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but he put another bend in so that it was higher above the waterline.
It'll sit like that, and that bend, if you look, points upwards more.
Yeah.
So it does come higher above the waterline. We'll have our water injection go straight on there. So yes, it brings it up higher above the waterline, but it also, in the engine bay, it bends it back and up a bit, so it makes easier access to get to our batteries. So it now fits like a glove.
The long-awaited AIS has finally been wired in. We've had a few different hurdles to overcome, and now we've finally hooked it all up to the 12-volt battery. So Emmy's going to flick the switch, and fingers crossed, nothing blows up and it works.
The moment of truth, everyone.
They're both on.
The lights are on.
Check marine traffic.
Unfortunately, I can't find the blue spur on there.
We know at least the receiving part of it is working, because anyone who's got their AIS on active at the moment is showing up.
We would like to thank everyone that donated to the AIS fund, and as always, thank you to the Patreon team for supporting us along the way.
Henry has literally been doing the last final touches on the engine, and hopefully it's going to be wooking so that we can get ourselves away tomorrow. So that'll be the month in Alderney over. It's a celebration, but it's also a sadness because we have to leave this place we love so much, but we're also glad to be getting away.
We're all going a bit crazy, won't we?
We're all going a bit cabin shazy, but I'm just glad to be getting ourselves into the French canals.
That's it. She walks.
What? So we were all getting ready today and yesterday to leave in the night on the correct tide timing so we could get ourselves to Honfleur. We figured out that this engine board is not giving us any readings whatsoever. So no matter how hard you flick it, it's not going to show us the right readings regardless. We've embarrassed ourselves loads. So it doesn't really matter if we embarrass ourselves a little bit more.
It would be less embarrassing to stay one more day and get it right than to go out there and the engine blow up.
That's the 4-wheeled one, there's a 6-wheeled one as well.
Jake make this for him or something?
He made the 6-wheeled one, I think.
Oh, the 6-wheeled one.
We thought that we were going to be leaving Alderney in about 5 minutes time in our local, the Divers, for another night. And we might be in Alderney for a couple more days, but luckily we've got lots of friends. Many of them are furry. We'll be here for a couple more days.
So we've got our new Beta Marine running, guys. Doing a little practice test. It's got to a stable place in the oil pressure and the water temperature. So we're going to be giving it a run and actually putting it under some load, putting it in forward and putting it in reverse, taking it off this mooring buoy and going around the lovely Bray Harbour in Alderney for a little test run. And then if it's all sound and we know we have no problems at all, then we'll get ourselves away to France tomorrow. Instruments on. Right, so as we were leaving the mooring there, I realised when it was in forward, it's not actually going forward. I just basically had to reverse it out and luckily didn't hit anything behind us. So that's good. So now if you look here, that is clearly in with the reverse gear. So when I go like that, hit into neutral, then into forward, we actually go backwards. That is the last sunset we'll see on Fort Albert, that. Crazy.
Hey! Hey!
When her hair is black